Hello, everyone. Welcome to Soapy. I'm Rebecca Budig.
And I'm Greg Rikaart.
Greg.
Yes.
You haven't really talked a lot to this person that we're having on today.
I have. We have a lovely off-camera relationship. I've never had the honor or the privilege of working with her.
Oh, yes. Well, I got to work with her very briefly on General Hospital. We have the queen of daytime. I'd say she's one of the queens, at least.
She's for sure one of the queens of daytime. She is more so than that. When I think of our guest, I think she's just a tour de force. Mm-hmm. So you guys, without any further ado, our guest today is the one, the only, Miss Nancy Lee Grahn.
Yes, known as Alexis Davis on General Hospital, but also
has a storied career working on Santa Barbara.
She was a very popular character on Santa Barbara. She had a part on One Life to Live, but she's done various other things. And she's a very interesting person. She's a very powerful woman. And I just can't wait to talk to her.
We're going to have a great chat with her when we come back. We are joined by the lovely, the amazing, the incredible Nancy Lee Grahn.
Very kind.
Thank you for joining us. I want to say that when we finally got you locked in, Isaac, our producer, who's incredible, we have a group thread, and he said, getting Nancy onto the show was like trying to catch a hummingbird.
It was, you asked. You both are my friends, and I love you, and I like to do things for my friends. And I know both of you have done things for me when I've asked. And every time, I wasn't really trying to be difficult at all. It's just every time you asked, it was a dark week or something, and I was out of town.
Yeah. We get it. We have lives.
I was definitely going to do this.
Well, we are so happy you're here. I'm so happy to see you because
I'm very happy to be here.
I know we didn't work together a lot on General Hospital, but the moments that we did, I don't know. I just love you, and I think you're fucking amazing because I can cuss on this. Sorry.
Oh, you can? Oh, that's just very exciting.
You're just amazing. You're an incredible actress.
Well, fucking thank you, Rebecca.
But I'll have to give my daughter $1.05 or something.
What? I'm not the curse. My son, we can't get him to stop cursing. He's like, it started with him saying, "Is this a safe space?" And I'd be like, "Yeah." What's a curse word every now and again? Now he doesn't even ask for it. And I'm like, buddy, you can't just go around dropping F-bombs.
My daughter and I are just, it's the worst. And there were, I think I was appropriate up until a certain point, and then I just thought, you're old enough.
Yeah. You're old enough. You can handle it. Yeah.
I'm sort of like, part of me is like, I don't care about like him learning about sex and language isn't even better. It's like, as long as he's not violent, then exactly. I have a little bit more of a bandwidth for curse words, clearly. But anyway.
I love to swear. I just do, because there's some words that just
feel good.
It feels good. It gets it out.
It does.
Do you do this at work? When I have to be really angry in a scene, if I'm not feeling it in running lines or just in my preparation, I will like curse my head off in rehearsal because sometimes that kind of gets me closer to it.
I don't have a lot of problem getting in touch with my anger.
Do you still, this is jumping around because I want to talk about all the things you've done and things, but do you still learn your scripts like the day, like on set on the day? You do? Oh my God. I said to him, sometimes I remember when I worked with you, we didn't really rehearse. You learn them so quickly.
What's your routine?
Well, we've all been doing this.
Yes, we are, but I don't have that ability.
So here's what I do. I look, and I have a way of being able to make a decision about what time, how much of my energy this merits. Because I don't mean that disrespectfully. It's just if I'm just saying,
right, if it's a monologue and you're,
or if I'm being a utilitarian player,
yes,
and just doing some basic stuff that doesn't demand much, everyone hates me over there because I really can. Up until the minute they say they're like, she doesn't know her shit. She's like, I'm like, where am I? Where's my script? You know, and my glasses, my 3 children on the show at some point are all like, you know. And then the minute they say 5, 4, 3, 2, I'm like,
You're
I'm
there.
And I like to live a little dangerously and just sort of, you know, it's kind of like Russian roulette.
Yeah, I love it.
Am I going to get it out or not?
I love it. You don't know what you're going to do. You don't know how you're going to respond. There is something really gratifying about that.
When it's fun for me to just sort of fly by the seat of my pants a little bit, but I also can edit. I can edit really fast in my head. I can make decisions really fast in my head. I like to be spontaneous, and so I don't. But I also, I went to the Playhouse. So the first year, I had Meisner. The first year is all listening and responding. So I know how to do that.
So did I, yeah.
Right? And then the second year, you ask the question, why? Every moment has to matter. And I will do that when it's merited. But it's just not merited all the time.
All the time,
yeah.
I agree.
The one part of that I relate to is whether I'm a utility player that day and I don't have much to say.
What did I say? I said a utilitarian?
No, but I completely got it.
I mean that.
No, but there are days when you're driving story and days when you're supporting.
Right. There's days when you're
fits and starts.
You're in the background of a party.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But the one part of what you just said that I relate to is it doesn't matter if I have one line or a 2-page monologue. I am up until the last minute holding onto my script like it is my Linus blanket, and then I don't feel like I know it, and then 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. But for me, the adrenaline kicks in, and then I'm locked in, and I rarely mess up. So that's my next question: is do you drop lines often? Is that a yes?
I think depending on the length of time you worked, how they evaluate your skill set, some get a little more freedom than others.
Okay.
I try not to take advantage, but a lot of times they're in the booth going, is she done yet? Wait, where is she going? Wait, is a lot of that, right? So they're very generous with me, and Tony did that too. Well, Gary, you said it because you also have to respect for the crew, and they have to have some direction. And so there is a discipline. It's just, I get a little more leeway, I think.
Well, I think you've earned it.
You do. You have to, you have to prove that you kind of know what you're doing. And so people have been around a long time, too.
Yeah. They give you respect there.
Very much so.
Yeah.
I really feel, I love my job.
I know.
I love where I work. To be doing this for 40 years. And if anybody ever said, I don't like when people go, this is a training ground. It's a great training ground for actors.
Oh, yeah, I know.
It's a fucking war zone, man.
It is.
You better know what you're doing because you won't last.
Yeah.
Right?
You're not training there. You train outside and then come in. And if you're actually prepped and prepared, you can do it.
Yeah. The repetition of doing it every day does make you a better actor.
Yes.
And so in that regard,
I agree.
it is great training. But a training ground, no.
You train before you get the job.
But let's talk about how you weren't really, from what I've read, that you weren't sure that you were interested in committing to something for so long term. So Santa Barbara, you signed, I know you did, One Life to Live for like a year or two?
I was doing that while I was in school and I wasn't supposed to be. So I was, I thought, isn't that the point of me going to school? It was a 2-year, the Neighbor Playhouse 2-year program.
Oh, yes, I did as well. I did that as well, yeah.
Yeah.
But
did you do it in New York?
Yes, I did.
With Meisner.
I did not do, it was
he
Bill
not there
Esper.
yet? Well, I'm older than you.
It was Bill Esper.
Yeah. I had Meisner and Esper, so I was very, very lucky. But, I was, I
did it while I was on Guiding Light.
See? Same thing.
So wait, were you not supposed to?
But I really wasn't.
You weren't supposed to.
But I wasn't really working that much.
No, I didn't either.
Light. I was I was so young, and they just didn't really write a ton for me. Maybe in the summer I had a little more, but it was great.
Wait, but explain that part
so
of explain that part of the.
Because it's like 2 nights a week or 3 nights a week. It's very intensive.
But what's the philosophy?
For 2 years.
What's the philosophy?
No, it's every day.
Was it every day?
Well, I went to the school.
Yeah, I went to the
Did
school.
you study
Maybe it was every day. I forgot.
So you went to the school in the 60s on the East Side. that school?
I went to,
Or did you do
Espers.
or did you did Esper separately?
It was a 2-year program.
Right.
No, it was a 2-year program.
Right.
It
And
could
that
have
was
been every night, actually, now that I think about it.
that was 2 or 3 days a week.
Yeah, it was intensive though still.
Yeah. That was after, because Esper left the Playhouse after a while. So
Right.
a lot of people went with him. And
because he studied with Meisner.
What's the philosophy behind not taking a professional job while you're in the program?
Well,
Because you're learning.
yeah, you're learning. And also I was, where I went, you went with Esper after he left the Playhouse, but at the Playhouse you're there 8 to 10 hours a day.
Oh.
So, because you also get Shakespeare and you get, voice, and there's other things too.
My classes were at night, and I mean, there were rare moments where we worked late, but it was
Right.
not like
So
Yeah,
how were you able to manage both then? If it was
It's just, if there's a will, there's a way. And so that was for part of the time. And then the other part, then I had graduated, so I wasn't there anymore. But I was working with Judith Light and Gerald Anthony.
Mm-hmm.
So those were my mentors when I was just a lass. And what mentors, right? So, yeah, I didn't know what I was doing, but I was doing it with them. And I was a day player. It wasn't a contract role.
And wasn't there a moment where you got a part and Erica Slezak went to bat for you?
Yes.
Which is, I think you told me that story because I think something similar happened to me, and I didn't get to do it. But you want to share that with?
Well, I don't know how interesting it is, other than to say that Erica Slezak is just
and you got to work with her again at General Hospital.
Just think she is a classy broad.
She's incredible,
and she would admit to being a broad. She's a broad, and I mean that in
We
the
like
best
broads,
sense.
Yes.
Yeah. I was a day player. A day player means you're not under contract, which most of the cast now in shows aren't under contract. So that's a switch. But
back then, that was unusual.
Very unusual. And so I was a free agent, and I was up for a part in the show called The Gangster Chronicles. And that was an NBC series that I think was a big deal back then. And it was between me and somebody else, Kathleen Lloyd, for this part to play Bugsy Siegel's wife. And this was like a big thing. And so when they did the whole screen tests and all of that, and I was on the third screen test, and they were flying me out to L.A. for a fourth one. And Joe Stewart, the producer, sued me. I just said, I can't do this part anymore. I mean, I'm going to, L.A., and I thought I was going to stay in L.A. And he sued me. And so Erica, and I was just this young, I was 21 or something. And
imagine getting
I was
sued.
so great. I'm such a grateful worker. And I was like, very professional. And I went to Erica and I said, I don't know.
What do I do?
And she went upstairs and she just went, what the hell are you doing? She's not under contract, and you're going to deny her an opportunity and mess up. She took him out.
And
he
so
still sued me.
No, they did. Really?
Yes. They brought me up on arbitration, and I fought and I won.
What
yes.
what grounds?
But I
If you
remember
were-
having to fly back to New York, and it was
spend money.
for what?
For what?
For what?
Also,
It was
like,
so-
on what grounds? Like, you didn't have a contract?
he didn't have any grounds, but you can kind of do anything to anybody, can't you? And
It's
then
only
you
gotten
defend
worse,
yourself.
by the way.
Let's sue him back.
Well,
yeah.
she's
Now
like,
you
wow.
don't. Yeah. Now anybody can sue anybody, and they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
So
We're like,
Yeah.
do we go there?
we'll get there. We have a long hour.
Okay.
Wait, so did you get the Gangster Chronicles?
I did not. I did not.
But you ended up staying.
And Kathleen Lloyd is a lovely actress, so she that was great. But I
You
ended up staying. Yeah.
And then when Santa Barbara came along, you only wanted to sign a year because you just weren't sure.
Well,
if you wanted to.
I had been working. Back then. God, I'm old when I say things like that. I'm like, how did that happen?
We say things like that.
I know.
It's like
Back
we
then,
all had our.
We've all lived through.
Yeah.
So you'll kind of know, but there were guest stars,
Yes.
and this show revolved around the guest star, right?
Right.
That was the.
And the guest,
now they're
starring, and the
ensemble.
guest starring roles were the fun roles because the
Yeah.
leads were just,
Yeah.
the leads. But
Yes.
the guest stars were the murderers or the
Oh, yeah,
victims
yeah.
or whatever else.
So was, and in this, there were maybe 15, 20 of us that would keep getting the guest star stuff, right? So I was making a living, and I was up for some things and very close, and I was only 24 or something, 25, and I was working, so I didn't really want to make a commitment to anything, to a soap that on daytime. I wanted to see what there was in primetime. And so then I signed a year, and I had Patrick Mulcahy writing, and Michelle Valjean and Bettina Bradbury and the Dobsons, who were theater people. Directors would come in without their shots and just say, let's play, what are we going to do? It was innovative, and writing was so good. I got to do so much that I thought, I'll just stay another year. And then they double your money and double your and I thought, I'd have to have Murphy Brown's part to have a better part than I had on Santa Barbara. It was...
It's amazing. Wasn't Justin Dees on that show?
Yes.
Justin Dees.
And I was one of the few people that hadn't been on Broadway. I mean, these were theater people. The writers were theater playwrights. It was
a really beautiful show.
It was a very unusual experience for, which is, I think, why it did so well internationally, too. They called it the soap for smart people.
Right. Were you there when Eileen Davidson was there?
She came in. She was there toward the very end.
But she talks about her time on that show and the writing as being, Greek. It was just.
It was, and even then it had there were so many transitions, and the essence of what the show was had really started to lessen and become diminished, because producers would come in and rather than continue the arc of the style and the tone and all of that, they wanted their own mark on it, and so it lessened. But you couldn't, I stayed till the very end, and you couldn't wreck it. Really, it was a very special growth time. Excuse me, for me as an actress and a woman, because it really, the writing. I say this. I'm actually writing a book. So I say this in the book. I was
going to write you if you're writing. I was write you. I was going to ask you if you're writing.
It sounds so weird, a memoir. I know. It's like, no, it's a, I don't know what you, yes. I mean, I'm telling stories. I'm telling situations.
Naming names?
I'm naming names.
Good.
Not my ex-boyfriends.
I read an article. You were very honest about, you split with, was his name
Richard.
Sam?
Which one? There's been a lot. It's been a lot.
He was an actor.
Oh, Sam.
Yeah,
Matthew?
Sam.
Lawrence? Was it Matthew?
I don't know. It was Sam, I thought was the name. But anyway, you said that.
Chris?
Clearly he didn't
Richard?
want...
Hold on. We've got them all listed here. All of these cards
don't
are
ask
different
me
boyfriends.
about mine, so...
But it's interesting to me, why I've stayed single my whole life. And, that in writing things out, it really helped me understand things too. So anyway, my stories are funny, and it turns out I really like to write. And I think my voice, I've had some people that are in the know look at it, and my voice is very clear, and so they like that. Structurally, I have a lot of work to do.
Wait, so where are you in this process?
Well, 300 pages.
Wow,
yeah.
You're 300 pages in.
Yeah, but again, I'm a trained actor. I'm not a trained writer, and I don't claim to be. That's a skill set that I'm not writing this for a writing class. But it turns out I really like doing it, and I'm kind of really dedicated to it.
That's
Would you want to write a script?
No. I mean, I say no now. I don't have an interest in that. I have an interest in the truth from, so I'm just speaking my truth about certain things. And my relationships are very revealing about who I am, what I stand for, what I have stood for and shouldn't have stood for, and how to maintain yourself in my relationships. And it turns out that I grew better being single than I think I would have in any of the pairings. I wouldn't have stayed married to any of the men that I was in relationships with.
Well, I'm curious when you say...
I love that self...
but I'm curious when you say
growth.
that...
It's amazing.
Well, some people do it really well with another person. For me, I think it grew me in ways that I don't think that I would have discovered things about myself.
But I think it's inspiring because some people won't even look at themselves and what their part is and how where their growth is. So that's why I think that's a really great thing that you're doing, because a lot of people won't look at
Oh yeah, I'm
I
love
that.
I think I'm pretty self-deprecating in the sense that I do take responsibility. I see where I see how my upbringing had to do with, my mom and dad. You watch your parents' relationship, and
did they have a good marriage?
They had a loving, wonderful marriage, and they were incredibly dedicated to each other. But my dad was an alcoholic. Very sick.
But you were close to him.
Very, very. I'm very close to everyone in my family. My father's my guy. He's, I love him more than any man I've ever known. But it was problematic. And I also got to watch him recover. And become a counselor. He became an addictions counselor and saved hundreds of lives that showed up at his funeral. Wow. So
that's amazing.
That's a blessing for children of alcoholics, because when you get to see the other side of it, and
the journey.
And we were all very open about it, and there was a lot of communication. But it's tricky business. You watch when somebody's drunk and they're relating to the other parent. That's a dynamic that's tricky. It's tricky to understand because you see so much love, and then you see behavior that's very, very, very unhealthy.
Mm-hmm.
This is a common cry. So this is, but I talk about it, I think, in a way that might be relatable and hopefully helpful.
Well, you one thing I didn't want to gloss over, when you talked about your time on Santa Barbara, how you grew not just as an actor, but you talked about your growth as a woman. Like, how did you feel like you matured during that time in your life? Because you weren't a mom yet.
No, but I would not have, the way I imagined my life young was not how my life turned out.
What did you imagine?
I imagined, there's a whole section in my book saying I blame Disney, because you, and they're my bosses, I love them, but we got fed a lot of crap.
Oh, yeah.
And
Prince Charming and all that?
Yeah, I mean, and even, even now there's the notion of happily ever after, I mean, does what does Prince Charming do the dishes, or is it just Cinderella? I mean, do they have equal parts? Why, who's taking whose last name? Yeah, so, I mean, when I was 11 years old, I said to my mom, why do women take men's last names? And she goes, I worry for you.
No, she did not say I worry for
because
you.
She knew even then
Who you were.
that I would not go easily down this path. I wanted equality,
That is so fascinating.
I wanted things to be fair.
You are who you are, right?
Right.
You are who you are.
Yeah.
Like when you're
Fair
that young.
question, by the way.
So, back to your question, the character that I played was Julia Wainwright, and this was way before this happened to me, and not why I didn't take this path because it was presented to me in the form of a character, but I played a single woman who wanted to have a baby, and I contracted a man to do it, or my character did. And so it very much reflected what I didn't even know I was back then, at the time. That Patrick put words in my mouth that I got to say as a character that articulated, helped me learn about what was going on with me, because we were in, similar situations where I kept wanting to make a relationship work and wanting to have a family and a baby that way and be a mom. And Julia's journey ended up being different than mine, but I can't, it's hard to explain, but if you watch it, even if you YouTube some of the scenes, not only that, my partner, Lane Davies, his character was an alcoholic. So I got to be my mom in that situation and say the things that I wish my mom had said. And I got to get all that out. And our relationship dynamic was almost the same relationship dynamic that I was having with my relationship at the time, and consequently, I can't speak today.
You got it.
Consequentially, why I'm like,
hey, you've said a lot of words.
Tongue-tied.
You said a lot of words so far.
I've said a lot of words, and I know big words. I don't know why I
This
can't
one
say
I
them.
always have a problem with
Consequentially,
words, so.
yeah.
Consequentially.
Did I say it? Yeah. And so it's hard, but I think this happens with all of our soap characters
It
sometimes
is
too,
kind of
because
interesting.
even Alexis and I have similarities in our lives. Something can happen, and then it happens in real life. You know, it happens with your character, and then all of a sudden, or you're having some issue that you don't even realize you're having, and then your character has it, and you go, "Oh, geez."
Well, I wondered, as you were saying that, did you have a good relationship with Patrick? Because did the cart come before the horse? Like, did he know you well enough to know that?
I didn't know him.
Oh, wow.
And so the Dobsons didn't know anything about me. They didn't know that I would end up having a child on my own. They didn't know any of that. That was the part I played, a lawyer. I'm always playing a lawyer because it's an advocate, and I'm an advocate.
Where did you get that from? Being an advocate, using your voice? Were your
my
parents?
my mom and dad raised their girls to speak up for themselves. So we had confidence in being women, and that our voices mattered. That was always something that my parents provided us with. But my sisters we're all on the same side in terms, and they'll speak up too, but I have a real issue with fairness. And so I think I just was a little feistier, and even to the point of it being ridiculous. I remember I was a cheerleader. And
Yes, you were, and you were also the prom queen. Or
no,
was
I
it
was
not
homecoming
prom
queen.
Homecoming queen. That's
and
what
I
know.
didn't have a date
Yes.
for homecoming queen. So when I hear myself saying this, it just makes me like so silly. But we had a cheerleading team in junior high, and we didn't have uniforms. And they weren't going to get us uniforms. And so I made a whole big thing about how the players have uniforms. Why shouldn't we have uniforms? You know, that kind of thing. Really important stuff.
But advocating for women.
For fairness.
Yes,
For fairness.
for fairness.
And did you win?
Yes.
I love that.
Yeah. And yeah.
So it's followed you your whole life because now you're playing a lawyer on.
I've
General
always
Hospital.
played a lawyer.
Yeah.
I've been playing a lawyer for 40 years. And
Well, you
very good at
show
it.
up with strength
Yeah.
and confidence and all of the things that
that's
got
kind.
But
You
it's-
have to. I'm being paid to do that.
Well,
too,
no, but
so-
I mean, you wouldn't get cast as
Yeah, I know. You have to have
wilting
the
flower,
essence.
You know,
Yeah.
That's fun to play.
Sure.
Too. I mean, I especially in daytime because you're doing it. I mean, the continuity of it has a long lifespan.
Mm-hmm.
So to have a part where you're advocating for things, and I try to keep her interesting, weak and strong and neurotic, and so confident.
Didn't Alexis have an alcohol problem too?
Yeah.
At some point? 'Cause
Yeah,
I
yeah.
remember those scenes when I was there.
Which was interesting to play.
I really-
too.
you're
So I got
so
to
good.
play
Yes.
my mom. I got to play me because Santa Barbara. My father was an alcoholic
Yeah.
too, so I got all of that, and then I got to play one to see, and it really was interesting to me to play that because even in the playing of it, it made me really understand how difficult it is to break that addiction. That's a really really tough disease.
Yeah, it is. It is.
what was the time in your life like in between Santa Barbara and General Hospital? Because that was a couple of years.
Yeah.
Was it scary, or were you just?
Yeah, it was. I was really. kicking into some spirituality because I was 35. I was in a relationship at that time. And it was one thing that was not negotiable for me was being a mom. I would have died unhappy without Kate, without that experience. So I feel, however I did it, whatever I had to go through, and it was tricky because, one of the reasons I started writing the book was I was going to write about family court because I ended up having, as you know.
I remember that,
yeah.
Yes. Many years.
Almost 4 years. It was brutal.
Yeah.
It was, there were days I just thought, I don't know how I'm going to do this. And, that was the point of me writing about the book initially. And then I stopped because I thought, I don't know that I want to do this. And then I said, I'll come back when I'm not so angry. And it was like 10 years later. But it was brutal. And I forgot why we were talking about why I brought that up. I'm segueing.
You were saying it was in between. You knew that you wanted to be a mom.
During. Right. I'm sorry. So it was. I wanted to make a baby, and so at 38 and a half, that relationship did not work out, and so now I was recurring on two or three different shows. So I was working, I was making money, but not, you never know when the next dollar is coming, right? So, and I thought, okay, I said to my ex-boyfriend when he moved, he said, what can I do to make this better? I said, you can put sperm in the bank. And
you could what?
Put sperm in the bank.
Oh.
Because my age, what am I going to do? I called, so he did. And then he moved to North Carolina, and then I called General Hospital and said, anybody want me? And Michelle Velgine and Wendy Rich said, yeah, we'll take you. And Richard Culleton. So now I have a job, and now I realize this is not working. This is not going to happen the way that I thought that it would happen. And it wasn't for lack of trying, because God knows I tried. But I did not end up going to the sperm bank. So I'm going to give you I don't want to reveal everything because then nobody will read my book.
Oh, we're going to read your book.
Oh, trust me. I'm going to read the book.
But I was listening to Law of Attraction tapes and going to, I don't know if anyone's heard of Abraham Hicks. Esther Hicks. Abraham.
Oh, yeah.
And I was in at the early stages of this stuff, and I was just, and I've always been a seeker and a searcher, and you're looking for that thing that'll connect heaven to earth for me. And I would never be one to join a cult. Not even a chance of that happening, because I like to do things and have a little evidence backing it, and whatever I could find. And so I was on a further on to my spiritual quest, even more intensely now, because I had something that I had to have. And it was really seemed like I would need a miracle. So I went and sat on this bench on Fryman Canyon every day, and I'd visualize. And I thought, I'm going to make one last attempt to meet someone, and I'd visualize meeting this guy, and he'd say this to me, and then we go here and do that, and he'd blah, 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 and it's exactly what happened. And I left out a few things. And so,
did it happen at Fryman Canyon, or you went somewhere else?
No. I saw this person for maybe 2 months,
Gotcha.
And saw behavior that was unacceptable to me, and then found out I was pregnant. Like 2 months later, because I was one of those rare cases where you got your period, and it wasn't for one of the months anyway. That's TMI. In any case, that person did not want to be involved, which was we were way not together anymore. And then when she was 5, he served me with papers. So that's, and the court situation. It's a story that needs to be told, because I was stunned at what could happen, stunned. And I had I saw the connection between heaven and earth. Things happened that I can't explain. 4 women showed up out of nowhere that ended up saving Kate and me. And I work like a motherfucker, and I saw what I was made up of.
How did you balance all that? Because I remember that was a really stressful time for you.
Well, not only that, but the storyline, again, going back to this, was that Sonny was taking my child away from me. A mobster, a criminal, had gained custody in court of, a child. So I remember going up to the head writer at the time, begging him to please don't do this to me. I could. You saw me. I could barely.
I know. I did. I knew. We had a mutual friend, Angela, and I remember seeing you.
Angela Tesnari?
No, Shapiro. Well, Mathis.
Yeah. Mathis, yeah.
I always think it's the same name.
Yeah. It was so incredibly intense. But when you look, and everything worked out. Mm-hmm. But when I was awarded full custody. But my God, I thought the court is when you get inside the court that justice happens. And wait till you read this, because you won't believe it. And the book, I have a lot of work to do on the book.
A lot of people I don't think know, like a lot of the laws, at least in the state, when it comes around family court. And I have a friend whose baby, she was similar kind of situation, but she was engaged to the man, but abused their newborn, unbeknownst to her. And now he's not well. But she's fighting for justice for him, and it is crazy.
Yeah. Until you're in it, you can't.
So she's fighting. She's going up to, fight for it and trying to change the state laws. And I
helped change one of the laws, and I'm working with after the fact, and I've helped other families and stuff. You have to, because nobody can possibly understand the injustices. It is not in a child's best interest what happens in there. And, I remember calling Senator Kuehl at the time, who I had a connection to, who was a state senator. And so she took my call and we talked about this. She said, it's not fair. And I said, no. I said, so what are we doing about it? She said, the system is impenetrable. I said, well, that's no answer, is it? Yeah. So, and it still is. And are
you still working on changing it?
Yeah.
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 My son is a surrogacy baby, mm-hmm. and we learned in the process that there are 3 tiers. There's zone 1, zone 2, and zone 3, and I forget if 1 is the best or 3 is the best. But in certain states, if he would have been born, one of us would have been the biological parent, and the other one would have had to adopt him. Mm. And then in states like New York and California, the blue states, mm-hmm. That have parental rights for same-sex couples, already fleshed out very well, he was ours. And so we were like, well, we are only going to find a surrogate in a state like Illinois or New York mm-hmm. or California, which took longer mm-hmm. and cost more. But I'm like, I'm going to preempt any headaches down the road. Mm. But it is not a perfect system, because there are plenty of people. We had friends who adopted a child in Georgia, and that did not mm-hmm. go well. Mm-hmm. And anyway.
How did you get involved? Didn't you work in a clinic with children who had suffered incest?
In my family, there was a rule: if you were feeling sorry for yourself, that you go on and do something for somebody else. My family didn't make a lot of money, but they were always volunteering or giving anything that they could have, and so we were really raised to take care of other people and think about other people. So I was, in California and crying to my mom and dad about, what have I done with my job and Christmas me and whatever I was whining about. And they said, I think it's time for you to go do something for somebody else. So I happened upon it. They wanted the fact that I was an actor, because they wanted us to do puppet work with these 1 to 3 year old incest victims, right? And boy, did I learn a lot. And it was fascinating work because then they also, you had to really get trained. Yeah. And so they would, I learned, you'd sit in with the mothers that were there. Now, what are the odds that they were molested as children and they married perpetrators, or not knowing? That's how insidious that is, that dynamic. So so that was my experience with that.
Gosh, that's brutal.
Yeah. Oh, you really did a lot of research.
I never knew that about you, Nancy. I was like, that takes a strong person to do that.
But it was fascinating. And then it turned, then people were telling me, I had a friend that I was very close with. I had no idea. And, it happens. I forgot what the statistics are. It's terrible.
I know.
But 1 to 3-year-olds. 1 to 3-year-olds. And it happens. So.
And you said you would go home and cry. You had to sort of, you had to get through it.
But it was, I could do it. I could do it. I mean, that's, I was happy to do it.
You're a strong person.
So are, you know what? So are so many people.
Yeah.
They,
God bless you for doing that.
My life has been a piece of cake, a cakewalk. Compared to other people's lives, people are very strong and they endure a lot.
Well, but lots of people have lives that are relatively easy and don't necessarily use the gifts they are given the way you do.
I have a soapbox, so even I said at the Emmys, I meant that, that I use it. It's none of my business what other people do or choose not to do or not to do, but I really wish more people with much bigger platforms than I have used it to do good. Many do, and many big celebrities do it quietly, but I don't think enough speak up.
Well, let's see. I'm trying to think like the angle to take here. I wonder because I've had moments of speaking up more and then feeling like I may as well just bang my head against the wall because that feels more productive. And then moments where I'm not using my soapbox in a way and that doesn't feel right either. And so I think I'm curious for you, what you find, like what for you is that balancing act. That's my first part of the question. And the second part is, we live in a very polarized world, as we all know. And how do you navigate that polarization with regard to, yes, you have the soapbox, but a big part of the people who are listening to you are people who disagree with you. Mm-hmm. And there's that part of the question. And their fans. Mm-hmm. And then also your bosses. And that whole dynamic is very delicate.
Mm-hmm. It is delicate. It's risky, for sure. The first part of your question, I think it depends. You have to assess your environment. I'm on a network. I'm just going to speak about ABC. I deeply respect them, and they have been very fair with me. I have crossed a line on occasion, and they speak to me about it, and I acknowledge it. My goal is not to upset them. And I sometimes have a tendency to, my passion gets the best of me, and I also have a sense of humor, and I kind of like to write a bit, too, with my posting, and where I'll cross a line, or 50, and but intention matters, and I think, my bosses understand that. And I also think it's always good for me to just be sort of reminded to be more motherly, to have my strength of my opinions and my points of view and be more motherly. I have sometimes more fun being a little more wicked. But
is that advice that is given to you by bosses to be more motherly, or that's something you've
both. I mean, both. I mean, I think like I said, I think, I think I'm treated very well, and I think I'm respected, and I think they appreciate me, and I think, I can use the guidance every now and then.
We all can.
Yeah, I mean, I fly off the handle, and I think they've been very, very appropriate with me.
Also, I think the strongest thing that we can do as people is to apologize, right? If we,
Absolutely.
When we,
Yeah, I'm pretty good at that.
Yeah, you're really good at that.
You are. You're
I can
great
go,
at that.
whoops. People go, I'm not into this. Don't bring politics. Politics is involved, is in everything. It's in our schools, it's in our hospitals, it's in our roads, it's in our everything. There is nothing that doesn't involve politics, and it's our responsibility to be involved in government. So I don't have a lot of patience for anyone that doesn't agree between what is right and what is wrong on a very general moral way. And I don't have a lot of tolerance. And so, yeah, don't like me. Some people don't like me, and and they object to me speaking out, and that's okay. I don't care. I don't care. I don't, of course, want people to not, I don't want to offend people, really. I don't, I love everyone. I'm a good friend. I'm a people person, but
You're a good person.
in this, and I'm a good loyal friend, and I extend myself for other people, but I don't have a lot of patience in this area anymore. I respect my workplace.
Yes.
When I'm speaking, I'm in my own home, in my own space. I'm not representing General Hospital or anybody else. I'm speaking for myself.
Right.
When I'm in the studio and I'm on ABC property, I respect that. Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to start talking about politics in there.
Yeah.
And that's also part of the job description. They don't want you to.
Yeah.
And so I think I'm smart enough to discern between that. But I also know there's an element of me representing the show that I've been on for 30 years. Mm-hmm. And I want to represent them well. I love them.
I have a lighthearted question.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna take a left turn.
Wait, let's all do this.
I know.
I know. But I also want to say, you and I have had many discussions, and you do use your voice. And when I was saying about the environment you're in, you have to assess whether it's safe, whether it's not. You do a very good job of representing smart people.
Thank you. I think you do too. I've always liked you.
And you as well, but we don't
Well,
this is not our conversation. We talk about our kids.
I mean, I can talk about it here, but I just don't feel like I have enough knowledge to go at it.
Fair enough.
You know
Fair
what I'm
enough,
saying?
yeah.
I have opinions, and I don't feel like I have enough behind me to battle it out.
And there's no reason.
Because
yeah.
sometimes I feel like the battle is harder than it's worth, because to me, I'm just well, first of all, I struggle with just being on social media as it is.
And
just as a mom, I don't want to model that I'm
Very
on
healthy.
It. So,
very healthy.
I struggle with that
have an
more than I
11-year-old.
do politics. I mean, I really struggle
And
with
it's
this
not
whole,
a requirement. I
No, I know.
don't disrespect.
but I actually really respect people that do and that feel confident in doing it. And it's because you do have a lot of knowledge and you have facts and you can back it up.
I am passionate about it.
Yes, you
yeah.
are. And I respect that a lot, just as he is.
But I respect also that you are being a mirror to your child and not being on social media and not when you are.
We discuss all these things at home, our views on things. We discuss that with her. We want her to know
Absolutely.
where we stand.
Right.
So she's clear.
And you vote. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all anyone is required to do. You're not required to stand on a soapbox like I do. I don't. I wish celebrities with bigger platforms would do it.
Yeah.
People with millions of followers.
Yeah.
I wish Kim Kardashian and I wish they'd speak up.
Yeah.
But anyway.
My silly question was going to be, who?
Is this a Soapy hotline question?
No, I should go to those. But I was going to ask you who you're closest to on the show. I know you're very close with the girls that play your daughters.
your girls.
But
My girls.
They're
yeah.
girls, but
Can I just say, I know this is going to sound pie in the sky, but we all like each other there a lot.
yeah.
I'm closer to the people that have been doing this for a long time because I've, like you guys, and Maura and Finola and, all those people, because we have that.
A long time.
We've been in the trenches a long time.
All those experiences together.
And we're the same
too.
age and stuff, but the God, it's such a good group.
It is.
There really isn't a lemon in the bunch.
I told you, I miss it over there.
Yeah.
I love that group of people.
It's good. And there were some lemons over the years.
There always are.
But not now.
Name some names.
No, not now.
No, I know that's true for you. It's certainly true. I think just, the genre has gotten so tight and budgets are smaller and stuff. There's no room for lemons anymore.
They really are.
I think we have a really good crew over at Days, and anyway,
it's such a nice community.
It's the best.
I'm so glad that I stayed in my lane.
Yeah.
And
Same,
right?
Same.
Thank God I kept staying on Santa Barbara. Thank God that I get to be my age and still have this job, and I still love it.
Yeah.
I still have fun. I still like to schmacked, and I sometimes really feels good to do really good work.
Mm-hmm.
And it's fun to make fun of, and I just resigned my contract.
Congratulations.
So
Congratulations.
another 3 years, and I'm grateful for this part of my life.
Also, the genre, and in large part of what we're doing right here, is just celebrating that. For a long time, it felt like doom and gloom, and we were all hanging on. And now there's energy and enthusiasm. There's a brand new soap.
Yeah.
And it does feel like the tide has turned, and there's longevity. And
It's such a great job.
Why do you think people should tune into soaps?
Right now, more than ever, because it's familiar, it's consistent, it's dependable, it's harmless.
Great answer.
Right?
Yeah.
This is a really good
Okay,
answer.
we have a hotline question.
Yeah.
And somebody wanted to know if you have a dream storyline for Alexis, something that you haven't played yet that you would like to.
When you look back and go, you've done so many things. I mean, where else are we going to get the opportunity to have play out so many
250
different
shows a year,
scenarios,
Yeah.
right? I'm trying to think, what haven't I done? Oh my God! You'd think I'd be prepared for this question because it's asked a lot. What?
It's funny. I don't often think about what I want. I always trust the writers are going to write something.
Yeah.
I don't think about what I would want because I feel like, I don't know, I'm always given something fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, there's
right, though.
trust.
There's lulls when you're not really, I don't know.
You trust. That's what you're supposed to be doing.
I know.
I kind of just have, but I will come up with some ideas sometimes and just I'll go suggest them and see if they do it.
Do they?
Yeah, they have actually. Sometimes they have.
Can you share any of the ones?
I can't. You know what? There's too many. I can't.
Okay.
I can't specifically remember. And by the way, if I ever, it was my idea and they took it, they wouldn't want me to say it was my idea. But they're very open-minded. I mean, I love our team. I really do.
I know you have a good team. Okay, Can you share? This is another question from fans. Can you share memories from your time playing Julia in Santa Barbara? We kind of talked about it.
Yeah,
we talked about a lot of these questions here.
It was
magical,
It
amazing.
was a real growth period for me. The character was terribly interesting, and thank God for that because that kept me in daytime. If it weren't, I wouldn't have stayed, and I'm glad I stayed, and I'm glad I went back, and I went back to General Hospital to have Kate, one way or another.
Can
right?
we gush on Kate? Can
We
we
can
just
gush
gush
on Kate.
about your daughter? Because
yeah,
I
let's
know how
talk about
fun it
Kate.
is to talk about your child.
All of our kids are pretty great.
Well, I know, but Kate is a singer.
Kate,
songwriter.
Okay, so please follow Kate at Kate.Grahn, Grahn, Kate.Grahn on Instagram and TikTok. I'm not on TikTok too much
follow
anymore.
her right now, so I don't forget.
Yeah, because apparently you need followers more than talent. So I'm not being pissy about it. It's just a reality. And, tech has taken over the music industry, the TV industry, everything. And tech people are bottom line people. So they don't develop talent anymore. They want it already established and already.
Or following.
Right? So that's just the way it is. And I'm not bitching or moaning. I'm just saying the more people that follow Kate, the easier it'll be for her to get her music done. She's very talented. I'm very proud of her.
Well, the apple didn't fall far, clearly.
Well, yeah, she's much better than I am. She's a much better human being than I am.
Oh, I don't know about that. You raised her, so she is.
Well, but she came in. She came in. She's a sweet girl. Yeah, she came. I think she saved me. She came in. I wished for her, and that's when I said she was my moment of grace, and so her middle name is Grace, Catherine Grace.
Oh,
yeah.
So sweet. So amazing to see you.
Yeah, you're just a delight.
Oh my God!
Thank you so much for sitting here.
That's what you're supposed to do. That's why we invited you here, our little hummingbird.
We love you.
I should have had lunch. I'd be less talky. I was so chatty. What was that about?
We wanted you to be chatty. Imagine if we were just sitting here, the three of us like this.
But as my friends say, they say you skip from one place to the other, and it's hard to follow you sometimes where your brain goes. It's got to be weird to be a fly on the wall of my brain.
No, it was
right?
good. You stayed on course. It was good.
You can watch the lovely Nancy Lee Grahn on General Hospital weekdays on ABC or on Hulu. Isn't that where you guys stream?
Yeah.
And you can watch this episode of Soapy as well as any others you may have missed on the CBS YouTube channel or wherever you listen to your podcasts. Thank you so much for being with us. Thank you for being with us.
I love you guys.
Love you back.
Thank you so much.
We'll see you guys next time.
You guys have a good editor?
Yes, we do.